Hey, it's Tiffany. I'm going to share some tips and techniques that I utilize to pass the NCMHCE. Now, keep in mind, these are techniques that I utilize, so I can't say that they'll work for you, but I'm very hopeful that you could try them out and they work. So when I took the NCE, the first exam that's required, I don't know if every state requires it, but I know in the state of Illinois, you're required to take both. When I took the NCE, I passed it on the first go round as well. So when I passed this one on the first go round, I was in disbelief because everybody say both tests are really hard. People take both tests multiple times before they actually get it right. And thank goodness I did not have to take either one of them multiple times, okay? So that's one great thing. Now, in the state of Illinois, in order to take the test, you have to be approved for it. So when I applied to take the test, that was in November, and I didn't get approved until April. So when I first sent my documentation over to the state, that's when I started preparation, back in November, okay? Very far back. Another thing I want to add is that I am an actual clinician right now, so I do have a full-time job as a therapist working with the population of children and their parents. So I am actually involved in therapy, like I'm doing therapy. I'm not doing case management, anything, just straight therapy is what I do. And then on top of that, I am also in school for my PhD. So I am kind of submersed in therapeutic techniques because I'm still in the field. When I first started preparation, what tools I use? Okay, I use the DSM-5-TR. I use the DSM-5-TR Made Easy. I'm going to make sure I put all this stuff in the description. I utilize the treatment planning book. It will be in the description. The treatment planning book is really amazing, to be honest. If you do not have the DSM-5-TR, I would just recommend getting the treatment planning book, the latest edition, because the book breaks every single thing down. It tells you what modalities to use. It tells you what differentiation diagnosis. Now, yes, the DSM tells you about the differentiation of the diagnosis, but it does not tell you what treatments to use or what assessment tools to use. And the treatment planning book does all of that. So I would highly recommend that if you had to pay for a book and you didn't have the money to purchase a ton of books, that book hands down have everything you need. It has diagnosis, assessment tools, everything. So that's just, and it's going to be in the description down below again. So I use those 3 books, and then so those are technically the books. Now, software or apps. I use test.com. Test.com was about, I want to say like maybe $30. It was less than $50. Once you purchase it, your subscription to log in is a lifetime. So a lot of those websites, they tell you like, oh, pay this much for a month or only for a year. Test.com wasn't like that. And to be 100% honest, I personally believe that test.com really mimicked the test quite well. And I'll tell you about the test a little bit later. Let's keep talking about tools. So test.com, I actually downloaded an app. I'm going to show you guys. I downloaded an app that every tool that I use actually came from NBCC's website. But I utilized one of the apps that they recommended. I think it was, I can't remember how much it was. Maybe it was $10 for 7 days or something like that. And I literally only purchased it right before it was time for me to take the test. To be honest, I don't think that has a little booklet. Actually, okay, I lost it somewhere right here. But NBCC has a little booklet. It's very thin. That's about $35. And that was very helpful because I believe that definitely mimicked a lot of the questions, the style of the way the questions were on the test. So that was another great tool. Now, here's another book. So I believe this book is really great outside of like the test questions because it gives you a lot of information about being a therapist. Like if you was not a therapist and you purchased this book, you would think you know what you was doing. It was very detailed. It shared so much information that was not on the test. Okay, so, and you can see it's very thick. So great tool to use even just as a clinician overall, because like I said, it gives you so much information about the individuals who made the modalities, the theories, all that great stuff. It's really like a great refresher. But keep in mind, the second test is not about that, which we'll talk about when we get to the end. And then I did 2 other things. I went to a workshop. I am in a workshop that was done by Dr. Fran. I can't think of her last name. But I'll leave the link in the description. So Dr. Fran conducted a workshop. I think it was $300. It was anywhere between $200 to $300. Cannot remember. Now, when you do the workshop with her, it's a 2-day workshop. I'm gonna be honest, the 2-day workshop, like, I really just was kind of like, whatever. But she gives you this documentation. It's 324 pages. That right there, very helpful, because again, it gives you a lot of information that you will need on the test. It talks about assessment tools, when to use them, the difference between a short-term goal versus a long-term goal, which is something you guys will need to know on that test. And I think the workshop itself, like I said, wasn't quite great, but the documentation that she had, which I actually still have access to, I feel like that was very, very helpful in me passing the test. And I took her workshop back in either September or October. Can't remember, because I think she do like 3 or 4 times a year, but that definitely helped me. I'm not gonna say the workshop helped me out. Like I said, I'm gonna say the documentation that she provided, so she did help. I'm gonna say Dr. Fair was one more technique, but I just remember there were 3 other things that I did. So when I was studying, I would actually create PowerPoints, and I was putting those on YouTube, which a lot of you guys actually saw. I also conducted a few study groups with some of the YouTube individuals, which again, my page got hacked, so we can't do anything about that. So I had those Jeopardy videos, which I'm actually going to revamp and go ahead and put some on this channel here, because I want you guys to succeed. I want you to pass. I think it's important for us to have the skills that we need to be great clinicians. Studying, put it on the Jeopardies, and I would play those Jeopardies for myself. I would talk to myself in my phone memo. Like, I would read some information, I would talk to myself in my phone memo, and I would just play it back sometimes. I did the old school thing where if it was something that I did not know, only if I did not know it, I would put on a flashcard. I wish I had the box in front of me, but I have this big stack of flashes. Like, so these aren't my flashcards. This is actually my supervisor. She gave them to me, but I had flashcards as well. These are her flashcards that she used to help her study, because she passed as well. But mine was very thick, and I don't know if you guys know, but some people retain more information when they write down the information. Some people retain more information when they hear it 3 times, which is what I'm getting to the last technique that I utilized. So the last technique that I utilized was I purchased some digital CDs. I purchased digital CDs from, you guys, I'll leave it down below. But I purchased digital CDs, and I would listen to those while I was in the shower, while I was going to sleep. I would just listen to them whenever I could. The CDs were really great because they were quite informative, just sharing a lot of clinical things, because it was like 5 CDs. It was a lot of information. But again, the information that was on the CD was technically not really necessary for this test. It's great. A lot of tools that I utilize to pass the test, and I understand that a lot of people do not have enough time or money to purchase those same items. So if I have to choose between all of those items that I utilize, I would highly recommend you should have the DSM. So I'm not going to tell you to get the DSM, because you should have it. But if you don't have it, the treatment planning book, which will be linked below, was amazing. And test.com. And then test.com definitely. And last but not least, the NBCC pamphlet book. And go on their website, because they actually have free sample questions too. So make sure you try to utilize those. That's kind of it for the study material. If you have any questions or comments, just go ahead and leave it down below. I still do have access to like the digital things that I talked about. I have access to a lot of those things. And just if you have questions, just ask me. I'm here to assist. Now let's go ahead and talk about the test really fast. The test, I chose to take the test at the location, not at home, just because I was worried that something happened, like my computer died, it breaks. You guys know, like, stuff happens to electronics all the time at the weirdest time and the most important times, and I just really didn't want to chance it. I'm actually going to put all of that at the end of this video, like, the whole process for me, because I actually recorded even me learning that I passed. So I'll put all that in the end of this video, but let's keep on going. The test, I believe, had 145 questions, and of course, a few of those questions are not being scored. when you're taking the test, you can't really tell which questions are being scored or not. So you, even if you think you could, I would just say really try to answer those questions the best way that you can, and not assume that, oh, this is a fake question, because it could be real. We don't know. They don't let you know any of that. The test is about being a therapist. I don't know how to stress that. The test is about being in the moment, pretending as if you have a client sitting right in front of you. That's the test. So when it's not going to ask you anything like, well, I don't know for certain, but my test was not focused on like the things you would have learned in school, in a sense. It was more about the skills you would have learned in school, if you get what I'm saying. So like, I went to a school that really pushed down skills down my throat. They pushed skills down our throat. Like when we did group, like when you had the class group, they made us be the group. Like the class was group. We were participants in group. Like my program was amazing. So think about it from that perspective, like the skills of being a therapist. So it's not even called active listening, but all those skills that you learn, those micro skills. Thank you. I don't know what's going on in my brain today. I'm sorry. The micro skills that you learned is what you're utilizing when you take that test. You're thinking as a clinician. Number 2, stay curious. I know we say there's a lot of therapy, but sometimes we get a little cocky, and sometimes you gotta humble yourself. Don't assume you know. Do not assume you know. Read the questions, read the answers. Now, one of the techniques that they tell you to do in the study guides is think of an answer before you actually look at the answers. That's what they tell you. I didn't do that. I'm old school. You remember when they used to tell you old school? Read the question first and then read the passage? That's what I did. Because when I did it that way, I already knew what the options were. And so when I read the passage, it was like, oh, okay, this is the answer. That's how I kind of do it. Another thing about the test, don't focus on what you don't know. If you don't know it, you don't know it. You can't make yourself know it. For instance, I don't do well with substance abuse because I don't work with that population. That is not my population. I had 2 classes on substance abuse. One in my PhD program, which I got a freaking C in. A C. And one in my master's program. And I got an A in that, but it was different because my PhD is online. But anyway, I know I don't know anything about substance abuse. I know I don't know assessments. So I mean, I know a few, like I know they have the cage, and I know about those few, but if they tell me so specifically, like, hey, if somebody's doing this, which one would you use? I wouldn't know. So if they ask you a question that you don't know, you don't know it. Practice. Another technique is practice doing some tests at home. Now, I never practiced a whole test as the test is set up. So I never did 10 vignettes at one time. But I did do 3 back to back, and I'll give myself a break. Which actually, they give you a break after the 5th one. So I guess I kind of did do that right. So if you wanted to actually challenge yourself, I would say try to do 5 vignettes. Give yourself a break. They only give you like a 15-minute break, I think, or something like that. Do 5 vignettes, give yourself a break, and do the other 5. That's what I would recommend. But if 5 is too much for you, 3, I think, is a great number to push yourself to do. 1 is cool, but, you know, they always say perfect practice is the best. You know, you don't want to half it, because when it's actually time to do the test, you get fatigued or annoyed or stressed out, anxiety, whatever the case may be. You didn't prepare yourself enough, which all those things could happen while you're taking the test. I did not have any anxiety starting the test, but those last 10 questions, something just started happening to my body, and I was like, what's happening? I had to literally tell myself, I said, hey girl, you only got 10 questions left. You did what you did. Like, whatever outcome it is, like, push through. I had to really do some self-talk. And even after I had the self-talk, I still start to feel these sensations inside my body, because I guess this was actually the first time that my body started to realize that it was stressed, and it was under stress for so long about this test. It it was like finally like this release that happened that I didn't even realize was there. Look at me being a therapist. But yeah, so make sure that you're practicing vignettes. When you do, like, let's say you go ahead and purchase test.com, or you utilize an app. When you do those things, you're kind of quick with it and you probably like put it to the side. But try your very, very best to sit still and do it as if you were taking a test. Because if you were taking a test at a center, even if you're taking it at home, you have to sit still. You cannot move. You can't look around. So really just try to practice that. You're not in your bed, not in your car. You're not hanging with your homies. So really just making sure that you're diligent about how you practice. The last technique I would say to utilize is be confident. I took a picture of myself right before it was time to take the test, and I literally put on that picture last time as the LPC, because in the state of Illinois it's LPC. So I'm like, last time as the LPC, took that picture, and I told my brain, I said, brain, you gonna pass because you're smart and you know this stuff. You're a great clinician. You're amazing. You're good at what you do. Tell yourself some self-talk. That is really important. Now, I did not look in the mirror when I was talking to myself, but I was like, girl, you got this. You got this, girl. You ain't get this far for nothing. Get that license. Get that independent license so you can be your own boss, okay? And that's all I had to hear, because I'm trying to be my own boss. Now, if you have any questions about the process, about the test, about studying, feel free to go ahead and put it down below. There's probably some things I missed, but I took the test actually this past Wednesday, or I just took the test recently. And like I said, you guys will see at the end of this, once I get done talking, I'm going to put all of that there, the whole process for me. And it's real, so I wish you the best of luck, because I know that you got it. If you made it this far, you can get that license. And even if it's your second attempt or third attempt, don't give up. Don't give up. You deserve to get your license. I wish that in the state of Illinois, OSWs don't have to take this test anymore, and they actually just passed another law. Well, so if you're going to do social work, go ahead and come to Illinois. But I just passed another law that if they don't pass their test after another 3,000 hours, so a total of 6,000 clinical hours, they can just go ahead and become licensed. And I wish it was like that for us too, because sometimes experience speaks louder than anything. But we do live in a test system, and we know why that exists. So don't give up. Don't give up on your dreams. Don't give up. Just keep pushing, okay? You got this. I know you do. You know you do. You got this. Go ahead and pass that test, and let me know after you pass it. Or let me know if you need help with something, or if you have some questions, or whatever the case may be. But I look forward to hearing you tell us about the time that you passed the test, okay? Okay, y'all, let's make this the test vlog, okay? So as you can see, I look refreshed and together because I woke up at, to be honest, I woke up at 2 o'clock this morning because my stomach was hurting. And I don't know if my stomach was hurting because it was actually hurting or if I have anxiety. But anyway, so I really did not sleep well last night, but it's okay. So I actually got out the bed at 5 this morning, got in the shower, washed my hair, and I'm wearing my hair in this natural curly state, still wet, because you know they gotta take that picture when you take the test, and I want to look as natural as possible when I pass. Okay, I should have really put my hair. Nah, yeah, it's cool.
Turn left.
But anyway, so I just met with my mom, who picked up the kids from me because my husband has to be at work at 4 o'clock in the morning. So there's
in about 8 miles, turn right to merge onto I-55 North.
Guys, guess what? We are on our way to go take the test. Okay, so we're gonna make this our test vlog. I did not sleep well last night. I actually woke up at 2 this morning with really bad gas pain, and then finally when I lay back down, it was 4 a.m. I jumped out the bed at 5, and at 5 I got in the shower, wash my hair. I'm with my hair in its natural curly state. As you can see, I'm letting it air dry. And then I got dressed, and then I just met my mom to get the kids because my husband has to be at work at 4 a.m. in the morning, so there's no way that he's going to get the kids to school. There's no way I'm going to get the kids to school. So my test is at 8 a.m., but you have to be there 30 minutes before the test starts, which means I need to get there at 7:30. And then it takes 1 hour for me to get to downtown Chicago. That's why I'm taking my test. So technically, I need to leave out at 6:30. It's 6:15, so I feel like I got some good timing. Yes, I had the option to take the test at home, but I chose not to for 3 reasons. One is because if something happens, like my computer malfunction, or the Wi-Fi doesn't work, anything can happen, then that would be on me. The second reason is I get really distracted easily when I'm at home. Like I might see something in place, like, ooh, why is that right there? And then boom, I'm not focused. And the third thing is I really believe that if I am in the test setting space, that is going to really get my brain to translate that you're taking your test right now and be serious. So yeah, so what's going to happen is I'm going to turn this off, play some music, get me happy and in the zone. I did not eat breakfast yet. You're supposed to eat breakfast, so because the test is like 4 hours. They give you 4 hours to take the test. So you're supposed to eat some type of breakfast. If I make it down there in time to find something, some type of protein, that's what I'm gonna eat. But if not, I'm not gonna put junk inside of my stomach, especially because I had like the little episode, so I really don't want to really eat anything for real. I do have a water bottle. I don't know if I can actually bring that in there. I think I can, but if they say no, I'll just trash it. Not a big deal. But yeah, so I paid for parking right next door. Parking, I think, like $23. So I paid for parking. So what's gonna happen is I'm gonna turn this off. I'm gonna play some really hype music to get me in the zone, to really just feel myself, like boost me up, like make me feel like I'm that girl, because I'm that girl and I'm gonna pass this test. And then when I come back, you and we're gonna look at the score together. So I'm not gonna look at the score until we look at this together, okay? So yeah, let's pass this test. I'm in the elevator. I just finished my test. You guys are seeing real emotions right now. I did not look at it. I thought it folded for me. I don't know. Yeah, okay. Being a therapist is crazy because you teach other people these skills, and now it's like I have so many emotions right now. I have so many emotions right now. I did not look at it. We are going to look at it as soon as we get in the car. I'm overwhelmed because I'm afraid. I'm scared. There's a chance that I didn't pass, but then I feel like I did pass, and I feel overwhelmed because there's a chance I passed. Wait. Oh, right here. I cannot wait to get inside and read these results. You guys, I did order something to eat before this test. I didn't eat because there's a Starbucks right next door, and it ended up that the bacon wasn't cooked all the way. So then I went back down during my 15-minute break, and went down to my 15-minute break, and they did redo it for me, but I still didn't eat it because you only have a 15-minute break, and I just really just wanted to walk. So I did not eat before my test, okay? Ask me if I even tell you that I passed the test or didn't pass the test, but we're gonna say we passed the test. I didn't talk about, let's talk about the test a little bit. So yeah, I overstudied. The stuff that I studied for this exam was not on this exam. Like I studied assessment tools, modalities, theories, assessments, what you could name. I studied. I bought so many different study materials, treatment planning books, just all over the place, and I just overstudied. None of the stuff that I studied was on the test. This test is really about clinical practice, okay? So if you are in school, such as myself, thank you so much. So if you're in school, such as myself, working on your PhD, or if you are actually clinically practicing right now, the test is a no-brainer for you. Like some of those questions, I was like, why would they put this on there? But let me not get too cocky, because we have not even looked at the results yet. You guys, not ever where I parked. I believe I parked over here. Yeah. So yeah, if you're studying in for the test, I'm going to tell you the best material to utilize just from right now is talking is the NBCC. They have like a little book, it's $35. That's the best tool to use. Also, test.com is like $20 or $30 for a whole time period. That's a really great tool to use too. I did not need to purchase any of the other tools that I purchased, and I spent about maybe $1,000 preparing for the test. Okay, y'all, let's get in this car. Let's get in this car. Y'all, I'm freaking out so bad. Like, so freaking bad right now. Let's get in this car. Let's get in this car. Let's get in this car, and let's read our results. So, okay, here's our results. Yeah.